Good morning,
Good,
Nancy. Jean.
good morning, Scott. And a
Everyone,
fine, sunny week this is.
it's been a fun week.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy Donald's continuing his BS, and energy's moving, and polls are rising, and voter registration is through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sweet Darlin ordered her sign. Excellent.
Very good.
I ordered two. One's arrived. One says is just the American flag, and it says "Vote Democrats," and the other one is vote Harris and Walsh. I should have had a picture ready or something. I got my phone, but it's got vote on top,
Mm-hmm.
and the V is books.
Oh, cool.
The O is for unity. It's got a hand in
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
middle. The T is a uterus,
Mm-hmm.
and the E is it's got um, pride flag in it.
Oh, okay. The rainbow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yes, he has. He's a rage. Oops, wrong one.
Yep. But you know what's wonderful about last week is I can't even remember hearing his voice unless it was a comedian talking in his voice.
Yeah, it's
That's when I think when he just goes away. I mean, and I agree with you, Earth Mama. Now all we have to do is get completely ready for all of the tricks they can play.
alrighty. So, where do we want to start?
You want me to roll in the garden? I've got it set up. We can look at where the stones think we're going to be in 3 months as a collective.
as a collective. Hmm.
How are we going to be feeling in 3 months?
Okay.
Okay.
You can do that, and I'll grab one of my favorite oracles and see what they say.
Okay. This is the garden. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, we have body, mind, spirit, grounding, and clarity are this is the energies around us. And what we're going to roll and look at where they fall is kind of where we're going to feel what's going to be going on around us in the 3 months. Well, clarity decided to bounce off the board. Okay. Our body is in the space called go for it. And when the body lands and go for it, it means movement's going to seem easy. I think part of what I felt in the last few months or last few years was just getting up to do anything was made so much harder because the energy seemed so much thicker around us. And our clarity is in the root chakra. We're tying to cosmic wisdom, which the base has needed. And then our spirits in water to some extent during this time transmutation of the spirit of the country is going to be completed. And when a stone falls on two spaces, you have to read both of them. And um, our grounding, which this is a pyrite, it's fool's gold. Grounding is between air and water. Mental actions are a path to abundance, and grounding changes right now are setting into long-term patterns. So the happiness kind of joy, the kind of transmutation and spirit and all that's happening here. It's going to be holding on for the long term. And then our mind is in air, and that's a good place for mind to be. Our thoughts are all important, and final thoughts are really coming. Things are going to get resolved and finished. So I'd say that's a pretty good reading for the collective. And it's all up here. And this is winter, spring, summer, fall. And by this winter, all that's going to be in line because all the stones showed up in that season. So I'm real happy with that reading. I'll take that one. I'm not even going to throw anymore. I'm going to say that's it. Why tempt fate? So what you got, Scott?
Well, it starts out with Ada Raphael.
Oh, cool.
That's the spirit quest. There's something better waiting for us.
Mm-hmm.
Then perspective.
Mm-hmm.
There's a better way. Dare to be different.
Mm-hmm.
The King of Michael. Wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
The situation calls for honest and open communication, integrity. And then we have the Six of Gabriel.
Success writing.
Congratulations, you've done a wonderful job. It's time to move on to next projects and successes. I think it just shows that people are seeing that there's something better. We can be better.
Right.
Dare to move forward. We're not going back.
And we quit being defined by a voice we didn't want to hear in the first place.
But yeah, I mean, legitimate polls, if you want to take them into consideration, they are moving very favorably in the Harris ticket. Harris-Walz. The legitimate ones I seen were, like Michigan's like 11.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin's like 5 or 6. Arizona's, they keep saying it's a wash right now, flip either way, but I don't believe it's that way. At least 2 or 3 Kamala. Pennsylvania's large.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're not going back. There's no way. With this I can see Georgia being close because it was only 10,000. But it's, like most elections are pretty close in Wisconsin. 10,000, 40,000. To see a point jump there of 3 or 4 is big.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been close. So I can see Georgia being close in polls. But it's great news.
Hard. It's hard because the one thing that we need to look at is Madam President sounds very good. But you need to look at the number of people they're polling in any situation. And the number of like what she just said that you need at least 1,000 people in the sample, and there's still going to be a lot of toing and froing, and they're not pulling in the newly registered people yet. And you figure if anybody jumped on last week and was newly registered, they're probably not registering under the R. But there are states like Wyoming that just passed a law that they haven't had their primary yet, and they passed a law that you couldn't shift parties, which they'd always let you say if you were a Republican but you wanted to vote in the Democratic primary, you could. They weren't letting them change. They locked them in. And this one county said, we already only had 30 registered Democrats. I don't know what they're so afraid of, but.
See, I screenshot someone that looked it up. There's 10 states that have abortion on their direct ballot.
Yeah, don't take Arkansas off. The Supreme Court yesterday struck it down.
They will still have a competing measure, a pro and a measure on the ballot, but not directly in the Constitution.
Right.
So it's technically still on the vote, but it's Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Maryland, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska it's still on there, but it's not going to change anything, right? Nevada, New York, and South Dakota. So we can expect rises there. And I told Nancy behind the scene, I was looking for the screenshot, but I didn't save it. But there was a person that was looking at stats and whatnot in voter registrations. And everywhere, young men and women and people that haven't voted for are registering.
Oh, yeah.
And the biggest surprise was Louisiana. They had the biggest jump of 26% increase in registration. All the rest of the states that were sampled were 5%, 6%, 10%, whatever. But Louisiana is getting down and dirty, and
they elect a senator this cycle, don't they?
Kennedy, I hope. That guy is crazy.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking. Women. Yes, please. Of course, I wouldn't know it in my Facebook feed.
Well,
a lot of these.
We don't argue with. We don't think of you this way, but we're not going to go be assholes on Facebook. We don't. Say what you want. I don't imagine you get the kind of things I get because I'm widowed. I get these guys that are fake Facebook accounts, and they're like always retired military. And what you do is you go to their site and they got one picture, the picture of them being retired military, and they're not a real thing. We don't trust them.
Yeah, I see a lot of these accounts or whatever, and they always have a follow. It's like a lot of these, they'll share.
Yeah.
But what's weird, a lot of my friends are from the same area I grew up in, and we generally vote 60 to 62% Democratic. We've had Democrat representation in our area forever. At 2% rate. Yet I got all these rage people complaining and, all MAGA, and it makes no sense. Have I had the wrong friends all these years?
No, actually, someone who was a bridesmaid in my first wedding, she was from Boston, Massachusetts. She married a guy from the Washington area, and so I visited her when I used to visit my sister in Washington, D.C. She's a charming, wonderful person. She flunked out of college. She was on a full scholarship, but she did not fit in well to the school that we went to. And they wouldn't let me flunk out the school because I paid full tuition. So it was going to be virtually impossible for me to flunk out. But her, because she was on scholarship. But years later, I found her on Facebook, and I thought, oh, wonderful. Well, it ends up she got divorced. She moved to Georgia, where her two sons live, and she's so MAGA. All she ever wrote about was all the babies the Democrats were killing and stuff, which I found ironic because at one point she was going to be in line to do that. It just ended up that's not what really happened. But I'm like, how could you have changed so much? But she did. So we all have our own path.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of people in Wisconsin don't get the news or know what out there. There's been numerous times I'm like, I try to share or talk about what happened in Texas. Like the lady that Cox lady, I think her name was, that spoke to DNC, and that, and all these forced births on kids or whatever, rape victims, and they're like, oh, it ain't happening. That's not true. abortion's cruel and all this. And I'm like, God.
So is bleeding to death in a parking lot.
But they don't see that because Wisconsin ended up keeping it available.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand what's the importance of that, you know.
Well, the problem with Texas is, unless you've lived here, you have no idea what it's like to be trapped by geography. You get to the center of this state, and it's a day-long car ride to get to anywhere. And I know that when I first moved here, it was impossible for me to understand the geography of the place. And it's just like it's impossible for Europeans to understand the geography of the U.S. We had a nephew of Bill's who was a long-haul truck driver in Europe, and they flew into Minnesota on an inexpensive. They were coming down here to be part of a trike convention. They drove those great big three-wheeled motorcycles, and he was president of the British trike group. So they said, well, we're going to take a plane to Nashville, and we'll just drive over to Dallas from Nashville. And Bill and I are looking at him like, do you have any idea how far that is? So he said, here's some nice cities you can stay in on your way across. But them looking at it on a map, they was like, no, that's not so bad. Yeah, they had to stay on the border of Arkansas and then drove across. And when they got here, all they could say is, there's so much country here. You know, when you look at it on a map, because I remember when we were in England, Bill and I would map out what we thought was going to be a day's worth of trip. And we were finished where we wanted to go by noon because it's so close together, and you just don't see it on a map. So
yeah. Eugene Vindman's race by the DCC has been changed from red to lean blue.
Oh, okay. They assess what's going on, and they go by registered voters and kind of action that they see in the area. And when it says red, that means that they think it's going to go to Republican. Lean blue means that now they see that there's a real strong possibility it could be blue. If they saw it as blue, they would have numbers that would show that barring something really weird, it would be blue. So when you're in the positions I used to be in, we'd say, is this race coming towards us or going away from us? In Texas, it happens all the time. Right now, they're giving Colin Allred a much better chance to beat Ted Cruz, mostly because there's such a strong ticket on top, and it's going to pull people out. And a big chunk of it is LULAC endorsed the Democratic ticket, which is going to bring a lot of the Hispanic vote out. And that's going to help Colin because the LULAC as an organization, I ran a race for a woman who was president of LULAC here in Dallas. And LULAC as an organization teaches down ballot. They teach them to vote for everything, school board, everything. And so that helps. So what's happened in Vindman's area is apparently more groups have gotten into, we're going to be there. And the DCCC, which is the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, that's their job. That's what they're supposed to take care of and watch. So, and Eugene Vindman's a good guy.
It's always good when you can flip or get close to.
Yep.
Okay. Gail would like us to look at the Senate again. The energy's on keeping the Senate.
Okay. I got some new cards. So I'm going to read from my bunny deck.
Nice. Shoot.
I think we need a little lightening up here.
Yes.
I got 3 cats decks and a bunny deck.
I've always felt that all 3 with this energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was back in, I don't know, February or March. My guides were giving me 53 Dems.
Mm-hmm.
That was the number that popped in this skull.
That's somewhere.
Democrats Senate. What's the odds? Democrats Senate. November. Fine.
Yeah, Queen of Wands, Death, Five of Swords, pulling a battle victory out of somewhere. The Queen of Swords and the King of Wands. So yeah, I got a yes. They're cute cards. It's the Queen of Wands.
Oh, my energy in my arena are the King and Queen of Wands.
Uh-huh. I got the King of Wands. You just didn't let me get enough cards.
Oh. Sorry.
And I got Death. It's going to bring such a change. They're going to bring in a lot of the changes they know they should have done, like get rid of the filibuster. Queen of Swords. And it's going to be, but you got to realize these are Democrats and they will be fighting against each other about where some of it wants to go. But I think it's been good.
That was the energy, but the outcome here is the Chariot.
Mm-hmm.
That's winning.
Mm-hmm.
Success. The Three of Cups. The Celebration. Along with some bickering of the Five of Wands.
Yeah, I got the Five of Swords. So yeah, how are we gonna change it? But we have diverse opinions. We don't have one whiny voice telling us what to do.
And along with the bickering, though, I do have that celebration of the Four of Wands.
Yeah.
So it all looks good. I mean, there is that one petty conflict card, the bickering, the group conflict, but everything else shows victory.
If it's the Five of Wands, it's just sort of they're bashing each other with sticks, but they're not really making any hits. The Five of Swords is a little different, but five is just change and a tiny bit of chaos. We wouldn't know it was a Democratic Party if they didn't.
Well, I guess I'll leave that. I was just moving the cards off, and that popped up.
Yeah, I saw that question.
Should our extraterrestrial friends decide to make themselves known, how will Kamala? Let's see, 20. Oh, that would happen in this. My prediction, it would happen this around 2026 or 2027, something around there. I thought then they would be known.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't thought about that prediction in quite a while. Oh, might as well grab my Oracle on this one.
Use yours because yours are good for that.
Oracle, let's see.
I'm going to use my weird cat tarot. This is another new deck I got. I'm going to see all my new decks. There's a store going out of business. They were selling all the decks for cheap. And they're also little bitty cards. I mean, they're like the size of real playing cards. So I'm having a hard time shuffling them because I'm so used to the big guys. Okay.
How many cards? Okay, let's say 4.
I'm gonna read that they'll embrace it and make it public. So. Oh, wow. And I did shuffle all these and get them all mixed up, too. So
this is telling me there's another delay. Maybe MAGA and the Civil War is not settled down enough yet. Because the first Oracle comes out is we have Betrayal card. There's a dark side in our universe yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then relax, take a vacation. So I don't think this is saying they're not ready, and then saying there's still forgiveness to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I shuffled, and that's when it told me to stop. So I think that maybe there might be a
Well,
pause on showing themselves. And
I got 5 of Pentacles. It's not going to be immediate. They're going to be treated like outsiders, but then they're going to have the strength to know that they should be revealed. And it's going to be a balancing act. I don't think it's going to be as bold and as bright as some might want it to be. But in the end, they do come forward. They're in the chariot. They come forward. And they're seen as a teacher of, it's going to be a sense of greater consciousness that's going to bring them forward. So besides, guys, if they can fly all the way through space to come visit us, I don't care who you are. You can't stop it if they want to be known. The only reason they're not known now is because it's easier for them to work with us.
Timing on the big reveal. I sense like the universe put us in a different direction. So I think it changed timing. I think everything's kind of been changed, bringing Kamala on board. I mean, like a lot of us felt we didn't see this happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've always felt that next year Joe would step down, get things settled, and then maybe middle July, I'm going to pass the torch. That's what I've always felt. And the big change that just happened, kind of like shifted timelines of what we there's still maybe a lot of racist idiots that aren't going to embrace a Madam President. So I think it feels like there's still more healing to do. And that maybe
before we start to bring in another race on top of all the other races we don't get along.
So it may be shifted to Kamala's second term kind of feeling. I'm going to check my timing cards.
Well, the question doesn't give us a time frame.
No, in my mind, I'm trying to, because I thought it would be this next term. I've always felt that. Cards are telling me something different. So then I got Karma, I got Knight of Swords, that's a battling card, Ace of Swords, and then Ace of Cups. It kind of leads into truth and clarity, and we need more love and abundance.
Right.
Because I don't really think they're going to come when we're still, not focused and enough people willing to accept a disclosure of that sort.
Well, they intervene, like supposedly they were intervening in Ukraine in the first year of the war. With a lot
I believe they were dropping missiles, getting shot down.
Not working, yes.
Not working, but now
it was the European Astronomical Society that saw more planes and more vessels in eastern Ukraine. Eastern Ukraine, and they were reporting them. And according to people I know who do work with extraterrestrials, they were there.
We agree the time I was shifted for Joe stepping down. Yes, Kathy. Just saying. How does this shift affect England? Thinking of King Charles. I think it's still on track. I don't think it's shifted there. I think it's shifted here.
Well, no, William's already started making changes around his father. He put up a new royal plan to throw out Camilla's family that were made part of the royal family and given a income and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a new plan. And he said in 2 years, this is where we'll be. And they've started a whole out war with Camilla's sister and her kids from her first marriage. mean, they'll give them security that they need, but they're not going to.
Yeah, I mean, that was my sense of prediction forever, is that once Charles got there,
Mhm.
William would be stepping up and basically running the show, and then the changes happen because of him.
Mhm.
So I haven't seen a change in that respect, but getting rid of MAGA there too in their last election was
Big.
big.
And they really got rid of them too. So
Okay. Next starred one. This is interesting too. I kind of heard something about Xi Jinping.
oh dear, I'll do my
What is happening with Xi Jinping? Okay. Which crazy deck wants to handle this one?
kitten tarot.
I'm going to grab the supernatural deck. Okay. Rumors Xi Jinping has not been seen. What's going on with Xi Jinping?
Well, we're still trying to figure out if Putin's Putin, so let's add him to the mix. Are we asking if he's alive?
However you want to do it.
Okay.
I guess.
I'm going to ask if he's being kept away because of health reasons.
Yeah, that sounds good, because that's the first question we're seeing there is about health issues.
Mhm.
What's up with Xi Jinping and his health? Show me Xi Jinping. It feels like a hospice situation.
Yep.
I see him walking around a little bit, but contained, the hermit.
I see him with the Hermit and the Five of Cups.
Ooh, health and being secluded.
Mm-hmm. And he's been the Emperor, but people are making other decisions for him now. And he's got a reverse of the Three of Swords, so he may be getting better. He may have had something happen and they're working on him. He's a work in progress.
Okay. Five of Coins and the Sun. That means it should come out. But Five of Coins is not stability. It's, lack of substance, lack of your body. Eight of Swords is being restricted. The Lovers can be care. And then Six of Pentacles. That feels like IVs and stuff, because you're like, we're talking about
giving and taking. Yeah, you're having
and taking, like transfusions and that kind of thing. In the end, Ace of Blades, that's Ace of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the Sun on the bottom of the deck, so it seems like we will hear something then. Four of Cups.
I had the Star.
Ah, cool. Four of Cups is thinking about things, kind of retreating a little bit. Five of Swords. Ooh. And then 10 of Wands. Yeah, it's not good. There's stress and burdens and
there's some kind of surgery going on. I had the Three of Swords.
And then that Five of Swords too. Stressful conflicts and whatnot. So yeah, I think he's in like a hospice situation, dealing with some issues. But I got two cards showing that, things are going to come to light, be shown at some point. I don't sense death, but pretty ill.
I don't sense a full recovery.
That could be. But I didn't ask death. We're just sensing on his current.
But they're working on him. He's a work in progress, guys.
Well, yeah. I get that 6 of coins feeling of transfusions and whatnot. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to pump them up and cure them of something. I didn't get like the Tower or 10 of Swords would make me feel like it would be, like cancer or something really bad of death. The second part, what's happening? Okay, we kind of got that. Oh, what's happening and in China now. Yeah, I think you described that.
His images and books are being removed.
Really?
Yeah.
Someone said images and books.
Someone said these images. Cece put it in the comments.
Okay, what kind of blood cancer could be? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need a lot of work, and that's happening.
I'm going to see if they're beginning to make the change of images of who the leader is, because they just made him leader for life. What? Trump was still president when they did that, and he thought it was a great idea.
What's the outcome of Xi Jinping? What's the outcome?
This time I got the star reversed before I had the star, so this.
Queen.
Yes and no.
Why would I get female energy around him? The Hermit.
Women are taking over. Look at what I got. I got a cat eating a bowl of noodles.
Justice, Chariot. Yeah, I threw again on what it could be or what's going on. I don't think he comes back.
Look who's coming in after him, the High Priestess.
Yeah, I mean, I get the Empress.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Empress and where's the other female card? The Queen of Swords and the Empress are next to each other, and a power struggle with that 5 of Swords. And he's still in a Hermit. I got the 8 of Swords and the Hangman.
I got the 8 of Coins reversed, or the 8 of Wands reversed. Means he's not coming back.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back. But it feels like 6 months.
What I asked is if they were removing his images, and the way this would read is slowly. They're doing it in a way to kind of get people used to.
So yeah, it could be a blood cancer thing that just makes him wither away. You can't recover from it.
I didn't know Xi Jinping had a daughter, and I don't know that she's making. I don't know enough about China.
I don't know either, but there's definitely female energy at the top here. The Queen of Swords would be an educated woman. The Empress would be in charge. Financial shadow and firm foundation.
Well, they're probably trying to build a foundation because they made him. But didn't China just sign an agreement to get more than half of its oil from the Arab nations, and they're ditching Russia?
Oh yeah,
I read today.
Well, Modi and Zelensky just met and signed agreements for trade.
Mm-hmm.
So Modi's ditching Modi's ditching Russia
too. Well, when they blow up 3 of the bridges, that cuts it off. What they're doing, and I know, guys, I am not a graduate of a military academy, I don't even like to play chess. So, but what they're supposedly doing is they're cutting it off so that the Russians, even though they're still moving in the east, they don't have a way to go home. So,
well, Russia's oil fields or oil depots are on fire.
Yep.
Ukraine hit them with drones, so that's hurting things.
And somebody in Moscow started a bunch of fires a week ago. just cause.
They're on the rise.
Mhm.
I seen a video of a bunch of look like retired ladies, mostly in the Kerch region where the Ukrainians are, and they
Mhm.
were all cheering Kerch is Ukraine. Kerch is
Mhm.
Ukraine. And I was reading that whole eastern side there used to be Ukraine back in the 1920s.
Yeah.
And got changed later on, but that whole
Well, the Russians.
eastern region, what's that other name? Voronezh? Like
I don't know.
Vorench or something like that. That
Mhm.
whole region below Kerch used to be Ukraine too in the 20s. So they're welcoming. Oh, I know, Karen, because I always felt Modi was on the MAGA type, and now it seems to be pivoting. I think they know. I think he obviously knows where this is going. We can't support, and the BRICS thing is collapsing. The monetary system, because India was included in that.
Oh yeah, I know. Mhm.
That. Well, you're losing those two. Everyone's saying, "Oh, it's going to take down the dollar system and replace." No, it's like 62% of the world is using the dollar. It is not going to be going away.
Mm-mm. And now that the Fed got its act together and they're changing the interest rates, it's going to be even stronger. So Cece's correct. When Ukraine gets let loose and gets freed from this war, they are going to be such a huge economy because they're such a well-educated population.
You got Archangel Metatron coming on your feed there.
Oh,
Jesus, Jerusalem nuked.
oh yeah, I've been Archangel Metatron, please. You also sent something out that really scared one of my people who was reading the chat. They talked to me about it and they said, they were condemning you. I said, fine, I've been condemned by better.
Yeah, it's kind of like you wore your shirt. Is it Halloween or whatever? They missed one.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, no. I have a robe I wear on when I do readings at Halloween parties that says the spirit of 1692. They missed one.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, big things coming up September for 45. January, September 6th, I think,
Mm-hmm.
is
He's supposed to be coming back in. Well, they're reopening it because of they've given him the date for that's the woman justice, the woman judge in D.C.
Chuckin.
Yes, that one's
there's a hearing there for that.
right. Mm-hmm.
The 18th.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to do each one as their own reading? A September 5, a J6 5, a Biz Fraud 5, and then Georgia?
There's well, Georgia's on hold. I don't think it's not even until October before they have a hearing on the appellate division for Fannie's dismissal. So that's on hold till then.
Thank you, Karen Louise. I know Archangel Metatron loves me.
Hi, Kathy. Okay. Let's just read on to September.
Okay.
So, but
I'm gonna do bunnies.
Tish James put out her a rebuttal statement on 45's appeal.
Mm-hmm.
The 355 million. So that's coming up soon too. I haven't heard a date, but they could come down and say no anytime. So which deck wants this?
I want them to start seizing his buildings in New York on the same day that the mayor of that town near Mar-a-Lago says you can't use the roads like that anymore and closes them down.
Okay. 45 September. Show me 45 September. Show me 45 September.
Is it bunny abuse to read 45 with bunny cards?
I don't know. Bunnies are cute and beautiful. I think they're untouchable.
Ooh, he's going to be losing money. It shows the King of Swords and the King of Cups. I think there may be some kind of delay because we got the Four of Cups not accepting an offer. And a delay of judgment reversed, and the money not being paid out yet. So I think he's going to go in and be judged, but nothing's going to happen with the judgment because they're going to be waiting. The judge is going to give him a space to breathe. What you got, Scott?
In the past, it's just Temperance, Five of Swords, Two of Wands. That's just basically your delays the fight of the court. Mm-hmm. Currently, he's going to be restricted somehow. There may be new paperwork with the Three of Coins. That's usually gaining abilities, but and then the Page of Cups. Many people coming in his doors being restricted. He might get sick or something.
We haven't asked about his health in a long time.
For some reason, he's being restricted in September at some point. Then it goes with Seven of Wands, King of Cups, and Page of Swords. It feels like a new leader stepping forward.
Ew.
Because King of Cups isn't a prosecutor or anything like that.
Nope.
Seven of Wands is always kind of like a defending your victory. It's kind of a stuck in energy. King of Cups is someone working together, a leader. Oh, I think it's like someone else kind of like JD or RFK kind of puts the messaging out more than him.
Mm-hmm.
The Page is someone new spilling the lies, kind of. In the end, we're going to know something more. But there's anxieties, the Moon, I think he freaks out, and the Star. I think it's a downfall's coming big time in September. That's what I'm sensing here. It's a big downfall.
Yeah, I got the Moon reversed, the Ace of Swords taking effective action reversed. His world is upside down, and all the good things that have been around him are gone. And someone else has to come in and pull it together, a magician. That is not going to be RFK.
No, I mean, it was just this weekend. I'm just saying there's like a stand-in or, or maybe it's JD Vance speaking more or whatever. But he's going to have a downfall big time. I mean, September 18th feels like we should read on that again. Because
okay.
There's been, I mean, if he's being restricted and held in prison with that Eight of Swords, maybe Marshawn brings it down. Like, no, you're locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Cups can be an apology. 45 ain't gonna apologize.
Nope.
Hogan downfall. Okay. Marshawn hearing September 18th, because there's been rumors, with Manhattan DA's filing that he's just got to leave it to the court. No pressuring on what to do with that immunity stuff. So what's going to happen September 18th? New York 34 count trial. Sentencing. Ten of Cups, home, family.
Well, the judge is going to speak loudly. He's waited patiently, but he's kind of at his wit's end. He's going to deliver a clear and straight message. It's a Page of Wands. And there's going to be not anybody there in that courtroom to save Trump. And his out card is the Queen of Wands. So whatever they do is going to hurt him. I don't see him locking him up, though. But whatever they're going to develop is going to be, however he's going to structure this, it's going to be enthusiastically accepted.
I didn't ask if he's going to get locked up or whatever. Well, I just asked what's going to happen.
I just said, what's it going to be like for him? And
yeah, okay. Yeah, it's about the same. But the energy I'm looking at is Ten of Cups and the Devil. Looking at the top and the bottom of my deck. Like I always do, to give me that sense of where I'm supposed to be going. The Ten of Cups is happy home, happy family, but the Devil, it's disrupted. The Devil can be chained. But the Ten of Cups is next to the Star and the Nine of Wands. So it feels like you said, a good outcome with the Star. Nine of Wands is kind of like, to me, it's feeling like a scolding. Like you betrayed us. Betrayed the system. And then I'm moving into the King of Cups again. That could be Marshawn. The Four of Wands and the Page of Coins. Page of Coins can be a new road, a new path, a new situation, a different agreement. But this agreement is unified. Outcome. Knight of Swords. There's a balance of power shift. And be tighter security. Two of Cups is an agreement, a partnership of sorts. King of Coins, I guess that would represent him. And Knight of Coins, an agreement. Weird.
Yeah, but the Knight of Coins is he's the knight that sits and waits patiently. So the whole thing may be set up, but it's not going to happen that day. But you know what the end's going to be.
Yeah. It's a good agreement. So I'm not really getting delay cards, maybe patient cards of that Knight.
Yeah, but if we know what the action's going to be, but it's set out at a different date, we don't have to be patient anymore. We just have to wait for that date.
Yeah. God, it's so confusing. I know it may have to do a lot with the appeals and whatnot.
Well, they won't jail him during an appeal on this kind of charge. And now, once he's been convicted this time and the whole thing comes down, after that, they can jail him while he waits for appeals because he's already convicted. But now he's not. He's convicted, but he's not. Doesn't have a history of convictions.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but the sentence is the star. You know, we're going to be happy about that. Mandy's seeing the fight too.
Well, why would he stop delaying everything when he's delayed everything to this point? What would be the reason to not delay?
I don't know. Father John, you're a psychopath. You lied to us. You have no remorse. You're locked up at home until appeal happens. That's what I would do. I mean, I feel that energy, but I just don't know what he's going to do. It's like, my senses kind of feel like a home confinement, but I don't know if it's going to happen. You know, there's no way to know for sure.
So we're going to see if Florida's going to turn blue?
Yep, that's Mary's question.
And guys, if you ask 2 questions and 1 question, we can do 1 yes, no. We cannot do decision trees on our, if yes, then this. No.
Yeah, Karen. Juan Machan is a good judge.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. Okay. Is Florida going to turn blue because of abortion rights? I'll go with that in my mind. Is Florida going to turn blue because of Florida going to turn blue?
Ooh. Well, that's nice. I got the Hermit right side up, but it's going to be a struggle. They're going to have to work at it because but the 5 of Pentacles reversed also means a lot of people coming together that felt separated before. And the middle card is better things are ahead. Yay! And it's another High Priestess thing. It's one of those things the universe is pulling out a good decision for us. And it's the reverse of the 9 of Swords. It's going to take so much pressure off the poor people in Florida for it to go blue.
So, my energy read is 3 of Cups, 3 of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
You have your choice. There's been a lot of heartbreak by the current government. The Hierophant.
That's true.
DeSantis did him wrong. I kind of feel like, okay, 3 of Pentacles. That feels like the abortion referendum question being on the ballot. 6 of Swords, 2 of Wands. I think they do come out more to vote on that issue. Judgment, Emperor, Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands. I believe they do turn blue.
Mm-hmm.
Judgment upon those leaders currently. The heartbreak that this ban has caused. The Emperor is, it's usually someone with authority over you, but voting, you don't have that authority. It's can try to they're putting judgment upon the Emperor. So Queen of Wands, Women Rising, Knight of Wands, bringing that energy. So I think they do. I really think they do.
Hmm. I'm going to ask if the Democratic woman's going to win for Senate.
Debbie Marco Powell.
Hmm.
Well, Voldemort only won by like a couple thousand last time.
Hmm.
If Florida's turning blue, I'm going to go with Debbie winning too.
Yeah, I got that she's going to win. She's still got some work to do. They're sharpening their knives against her, but
Mandy's pendulum says yes.
I keep getting High Priestess.
Debbie beating Scott. It's a yes with my.
Mhm.
It's a yes with my dosing rods. Mandy's pendulum says yes.
Very good.
Let's go!
Yeah,
Yay!
Debbie at 3 Shifting Veils is a Floridian also, so she's gorgeous.
Oh, good, Cookie. Job interview this week. Will I get a job offer? Oh, we'll just do this quick
Mm-hmm.
since I got this out. Cookie job interview. Get an offer. It's going no, not this one. I got a split going out for the job offer. Sorry. Okay, Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz winning Texas. Ted Cruz winning Texas. It's going no. They split. Could we? Let's see. Cards for Ted Cruz. Cards for Ted Cruz. Colin Aldred. Ted Cruz gonna win Texas Senate. Make him a permanent podcaster.
He spends more time doing that than being our senator.
What's he do it like 3 times a week supposedly?
Yeah.
Ted Cruz winning Texas. Ted Cruz winning Texas. Ted Cruz.
I don't like my answer.
No, don't say that. Ted Cruz winning in the Senate. Ted Cruz.
I got the Wheel of Fortune upside down, which means it's for me. That means it's not decided yet, but he's doing a balancing act. He's staying hidden. I tell guys, he is not anywhere in our news. Got the 7 of Wands. He's building up his defenses. Got the Devil reversed, and then the Abundant Legacy. It's the way they can steal, but they're really working there's really 19 counties you need to win in this state to get the numbers. And Collins was out in East Texas this week. He was at Tyler in some of those areas. So it says that he's relying on the machine that runs the votes to win again. And them disenfranchising all the voters in Houston.
Cruising for a losing.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right a little bit. It's up in the air, but the energy is there for him to lose.
Yeah.
Because the energy is the Hierophant and death.
Yeah.
Him being in government is coming to an end.
Well, something's going to happen in October that's going to get uncovered about him.
Oh, let's go. Let's go with the October surprise.
Mm-hmm. The biggest newspaper in Texas yesterday just printed a big article on what a useless bag of crap Greg Abbott is, and it virtually almost put it in those terms.
Nice. But yeah, Cruz has been a huge failure in government. So
Mhm.
that came down with the Hierophant first, 3 of Swords and 3 of Coins. He's done nothing for the people and has been a huge disappointment. He's got a heavy burden on him. 2 of Swords, trying to make things work in a bad situation, feeling, and then 6 of Cups. That feels like his past is going to come back to haunt him a little bit here.
Mhm.
But the out cards are kind of good. The energy says he's going to lose, but the out cards are kind of good.
Well, maybe it's good for the state that he loses.
Yeah. So I got King of Swords, Ace of Swords. Maybe something comes out with Jack Smith, possibly, and the truth
Mhm.
about J6 or something. Maybe his involvement or something. Page of Swords and Lovers. A man deserving respect, has some frustrations that brings off new things with the Page of Swords. Some kind of deception, some new spying or something, and then the Lovers can be connections to people, things he's done. Yeah, that very well could be a October surprise coming up.
Mhm.
In the past, I got kind of the same things of just being a bad senator. The Tower being catastrophic. The Emperor and the Devil, just a big drifter. The people are waking up. I guess it depends on people getting out there to vote and the devil that they do in Texas. But he's got the energy to lose. It's only August.
The Houston Chronicle is a paper that did the big editorial on Craig Abbott. And what it basically was based on is he's lying about sending all the people from the border. First of all, people aren't flooding across the border, and they were putting them on buses and sending them to northern cities, and he was getting all sorts of kudos for that. Well, now there's a whole line of buses sitting down at the border, waiting for people that can move, and they can't do it. So he's running around saying, "I'm keeping these people out of Texas." Well, we would all love you to get on a bus and go to New York. Thank you.
Joji is a Wisconsinite and Northern. She went to a den party last week, picked up signs for all 5 women running in the state.
And federal.
In her district. Nice. Nice. Power. We need to get rid of this guy on the western side. It was held by a Democrat for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump come along and he had a wacko Marjorie Taylor Greene type.
Mm-hmm.
And he's held the seat the last 2 times. So now they got, I was telling you last week with Sean, I got to look at her name. I can't remember her name, but she's the waitress, I said.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That won the Democratic side to beat the tune. But yeah, he's full MAGA lies constantly. He voted against, he's on the side of the J6ers and all that. Just, he's got to go. So yeah, she should win, but I'm going to do what I can to donate to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because that guy needs to go, and it can be done. Get rid of the MAGA. I don't think 45 getting security briefings. I don't believe he is.
No. Why would he go? He didn't go to him when he got him for himself.
Good point.
You know,
he needed him in crayon to to read anything. Oh, okay. What's Jack Smith's move?
Okay.
He's kind of taking it as it is, supposedly, with the J6 on
Mhm.
Trump.
One of the J6ers got, in the last couple weeks, got a 20-year sentence.
Yep. I seen that.
Mm-hmm. He was a guy who beat the cops with the pole with the American flag on it.
Yeah, Sergeant Gunnell submitted a letter because one of those guys, he was one of the guys that hurt him. The judge sentenced David Dempsey to 20 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep, Carrie. Santos can get anywhere from 20 to 22 years in prison. 8 sounds like an appropriate number. Okay.
Okay.
Jack.
Let's get him the master number of 22. Why so for 20? Let's go for the 22.
Let's go for 33. I know it. Trump is a traitor. Okay, Jack Smith. What's Jack Smith gonna do?
The bottom of the deck is future plans. It's the 3 of Wands. He's looking out beyond this point. But he's going to go after somebody. Because it's somebody he's really been fighting to get a hold of. Perseverance Garden. He wants to get the guy because whatever he did is so bad. And he's wearily like, we should have been past this point months ago. And there's going to be a lot of conflicting back and forth. And as always, since we're going for that, we're fighting people with shady intentions. But yeah, he's going to go for it.
You see him indicting someone else before the election.
It may not be a politician.
I think we read 2 weeks ago that the politicians, it felt like he was going to wait till after the election. But he could go after Stone, Bannon, all those other guys that were co-conspirators.
Well, he can go after Bannon. He knows where he is.
Yeah. But he could wait on him, I guess, because he gets out and then he's got to go to court in Manhattan. So,
the hack into Trump's campaign was through Bannon. Was through Stone's email account.
Oh,
he's the one that answered the phishing letter.
Him and someone else. I can't remember who it was. They were going after someone else.
Well, he sent it in to about 10 of them. But they know for a fact when they took it all apart, Stone answered the thing that opened it up. Man, such a genius.
Okay. See, unfortunately, he's just going through the motions with 45. So I got the King of Coins signifying 45 next to the 5 of Wands and then Justice. So the 5 of Wands, it's basically saying in the middle of these two is like there's obstacles. There's some lack of energy, some conflicts going on there. So it feels like he's just gonna let it ride for now and prepare for the chucking to move things forward and get that settled. In the past, I did have some secret things moving, but there were some obstacles in the past here. So the 10 of Wands, the Moon, and King of Cups. that's just some obstacles, some burdens and stresses that you didn't want to deal with, but they were in the back of the mind of how we're going to move forward. So, moving forward in the situation, what he's going to do. Knight of Cups. There we got proposals, we got influence, some travel. My 4 or 5 of Cups. That's being lazy, reflecting. There could be some grief, and then we have a victory, a success, and news.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving forward, I think he moves forward though.
Mm-hmm.
The Knight of Cups is a good card. It's moving forward. It's taking on the situation. There might be some losses there, but he's going to take charge. In the end, Ace of Swords. Truth, clarity, awakening, victory. Government. Hierophant. And then the Ace of Cups. Celebrations, good health, unions, love and abundance. Ace, ace, ace in government. That's definitely a yes. But like Mark Meadows was in the government.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say yes, he does do some indicting. But like I'm going to stick with that prediction. He doesn't touch the, like the Jim Jordans or whoever.
They're not going to touch anybody that's in an election cycle.
Until the election's over. Speaking of, I think we sensed a change of a woman a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But Kristen's wondering about Merrick Garland's future. Let's look at it again. What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
He's not a spry man. He's getting up there in age, isn't he? You know how old Merrick is? You know how old Merrick is?
No.
No.
I can look it up. Give me a second. So I only lay out 5 cards and you lay out a bunch.
Okay.
Yes, and she can't wait. Hard to say. The Queen of Pentacles, and she is going to put a woman in his place. She feels like he's just not done anything like what he should have.
Merrick is 72 in November.
Oh, okay. He's
you.
a child. He's 3 years younger than me. Anxiously, they just really want him gone. And he is not going to be in power. So
let's see. I'm getting a new the transition, moon, and wheel of fortune is the ending cards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the energy's not right for her. For the AG, wheel of fortune is a karmic cycle change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in her mind, she could have done things different. I got 3 bad cards in the current energy of her thoughts of who she'd want.
Mm-hmm.
Tower, 5 of cups, 5 of coins. There's something he did that she's not liking. Big time.
I think it's what he didn't do that she's not liking.
Yeah, it could be. So yeah, and then in the Wheel of Fortune was in the end, but the moving forward cards and how it's going to play out is a change.
Mm-hmm.
Eight of Cups, the King of Swords, and 6 of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
Walking away. King of Swords would be the AG, and 6 of Swords, someone better moving on. Better times. So yeah, there will be a change. I didn't see a female card this time or anything, but I was sensing female energy 2 weeks ago. Women coming forward
Mhm.
again.
It's time. The patriarchy needs to go find a new place to live.
And that would be a good sign to try to get rid of all these male senators on the Republican side.
Mm-hmm.
Send Teddy Cruz packing, Voldemort packing. If Kennedy's in Louisiana's up, highly doubtful, but that'd be good too. 120. Oh my God, it flew today.
Mm-hmm.
Got that one. It's the only last question I have saved. So yeah, I think Garland's done a good job, but a little on the timid side possibly, because especially what we're seeing and the effects of the Russian side of our government should have been more aggressive. And
Yeah, then Elon couldn't have bought Twitter if we'd ever gotten those two oligarchs.
True. I'm like, it's okay, Wheezy. Okay. Do you think the Republicans for MVP is MTG? Who's MVP? Coming forward from Georgia and Arizona because they want people. They're poll watchers. If CC's still here, can you clarify this question? Georgia and Arizona.
Madam Vice President. The Republicans who spoke for Madam Vice President. The ones that spoke
gotcha.
at the things.
I think the Republicans are coming forward from
the mayor of Arizona and the lieutenant governor of Georgia. That's who she's talking about. Do we want people to know they're watching the polls? I think they were a totally different group for a totally different audience. They were trying to tell Republicans exactly what Kissinger said, which is, and what the lieutenant governor said. If you're voting for Trump and supporting that, you're not voting for democracy.
You wanna let's throw a few on the shenanigans in Texas.
Oh,
is it getting taken care of?
No.
The voting has been so bad in Texas.
Every nasty trick that's been out there in any of the other 49 states started in Texas. And it's gotten so bad that even Karl Rove doesn't want to be associated with it. And he invented a bunch of this stuff. He invented going back and re-gerrymandering everything after the year it should have been done. He did that when Bush Jr. was governor.
Shenanigans.
So we're asking about the shenanigans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it better? Is it gonna, stop? Like all those votes that your AG said he got rid of or whatever, that kind of thing.
Well, this is a wonderful reading for me.
Go for it.
It's got Perseverance Gardens. That's a yes. Things are riding in that direction. We have people working on that as a goal, as a star. It's going to decide who is in the ruling classes here. And a moment of glory. So there may just be enough people to get involved.
I'm getting, it may be the powers that be kind of know what they're doing now. I got the Magician, 5 of Coins, 6 of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
So the shenanigans are known.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Mark Elias and other groups and lawyers are working on it. They are trying the rig election again. Figure it out. Moon, 5 of Swords, to create that loss for the. God, if they didn't cheat and if it was fair there, I think it would be blue. But I have a victory. Women coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And angelic influence with that Knight of Cups. My Duchess card, which is my Empress star.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a victory. So
Okay.
I think shenanigans are struck down for this election in Texas. It feels fair. Even though they're trying hard currently, it feels shut down.
You know what they say about
fair? You can see it fair in Texas.
Right. What you say about the fair in Texas is it comes in October. It's in Fair Park. That's the only fair that there ever is in Texas.
It's the only fair in Texas. Is the state fair.
Mm-hmm. Oh, read on Paxton. Paxton was just up in D.C. trying to get Texas exempted from the transgender laws being put on corporations.
Yes, that's horrible, people.
And that's an asshole that should have been in jail 11 years ago.
Jeez.
And all of his people that were involved in that are in jail.
I know, right? That was brought up again in post how Nixon screwed over Carter.
Right.
With that Iran deal, hostage, whatever. And
yes.
The Supreme Court screwed over Bush and Gore, allowing the votes to go. Russia took over and messed us over for Hillary. God. All thanks to the Electoral College.
All thanks to the people like the Koch brothers that were part of the John Birch Society.
All those.
Did you ever know anybody who belonged to the John Birch Society?
No.
My mother did. And my father made her quit. This is a true story. We were sitting at the dinner table, and we always had dinner together, and 5 kids and my parents. And my mother, we had a deal where the girls had their weeks that they controlled the TV, and the boy had their weeks. So we always knew whose week it was. And so I mentioned that I was so excited because I was going to get to watch My 3 Sons. And my mom said, "You can't watch that show." And I said, and my dad kind of looked at me and goes, "What's wrong with that show? It's Fred McMurray." And she said, it's an evil show. It was put together by people trying to convince the American family that it doesn't need mothers. And I know I was a little kid and even I was stunned. And my dad looked at her and he goes, "Helen, we need to discuss this." And I found out later from him that she had gotten this in a John Birch meeting. They were talking about all the contemporary television that was teaching evil. And my dad said, "You're not going to any more of those meetings. That's just strange." So.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, she still got weird, but she fell in she fell into Rush Limbaugh land, and we never quite pulled her back. But
Carrie Dye. My cousins in Wyoming were John Birch.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Inspiration for the week.
Okay. We're going to go from the sublime to the ridiculous. And we're going to go from the ridiculous to the sublime, actually. Because I'm going to pick out a crystal medicine card.
Week. Have to. Okay, so I got the two of autumn, which is two of coins.
Mm-hmm.
There might be some situations that we need to multitask, juggling things, but it does bring fun and to things that we do because you're multitasking, you're enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
And we have information coming in with the Prince of Winter. Being realistic, you're finding your voice. What I'm feeling here. Because this information that's coming in multiple sources this week, you're going to find the truth. You're going to find your voice. You're going to find some inspiration because it brings in a happy change with the Ace of Winter. It's a advice. It's a windfall. It's success and happy change. So just be mindful of what comes in this week because it could be two different ways, but you're going to figure it out and it's going to be good.
I got a lovely card. Ancestor Healing, Amber. See the amber coming out of the tree? When you work with this crystal of amber, you're working with something that was left for us from what existed before. And we hold and carry the lessons and wisdoms of our family and our blood and our bones and held deeply within our DNA. I do not avow any of my mother's DNA. Tribes from the beginning of times would pray to 7 generations for both past and present to assist them in healing the bloodline. Just as we have our own karma in balance and our own karma lessons to learn, we also carry those of our ancestors. Patterns and unresolved physical, mental, emotional, spiritual issues that have been handed down through the family line. When this medicine comes in, it's a strong sign that you are currently in a very powerful healing from your ancestors. All the wisdom that your ancestors have discovered also runs deep within your bones. It's time for you to become aware of how these current challenges bring new possibilities for your healing and to understand the roots of your karma. Our ancestors are always with you. They can be looking out for you, guiding you, loving you from the other side. They are here today to let you know that you're not alone. If you have been thinking about a certain family member in who's passed, okay, it's mom. Mom's come to visit us. This can be a sign that they are with you. And amber is the blood of the tree that solidifies and connects us to our past. It draws disease from the body and it invokes wisdom. And when I use amber in a grid, I use it for wisdom, a deep ancestral wisdom. So we're learning all the stuff that we're looking at now. We're able to look at it in the past. I think some of the joy that broke out for people was they'd sort of forgotten how to be joyful because you had such a bizarre few years, and now we're learning how to be joyful again. So,
one quick one. You think Bush Sr. had anything to do with the shady voting in Texas, or did that come after?
Frank Luntz, when he was telling the story about how he couldn't even get a panel of women together to do one of his focus groups, which is his thing, he mentioned that he was called to the White House and he met with all, and this is when Reagan was president. And he got a whole tour, met all the staff and everybody. He met George Bush Sr. and Luntz was somewhat of a mover and shaker in the Republican Party at the time. He didn't even recognize who he was. George Bush Sr. was kept so far away from things. I don't know how Karl Rove got in with Bush Jr., but that book, Bush's Brain, is really the truth. And I met a guy who worked on micro-targeting. Like, if you read this kind of magazine, you're most likely to believe this. And they were just had computers big enough and capable of moving the information around enough to do that. And I met a guy who partnered with Rove before he did that, and it was in 2012, I think. And the guy was outside Austin, and there were 3 of them that came up with it. And then there's one guy who lived way the hell out in West Texas, and he wouldn't have anything to do with targeting people like that because he thought it was evil. We met the guy who sort of stayed with the Democrats, and he gave us some guidance on how to deal with it. Rove went to the Republicans because it's where he could get the most money for what he was doing. And Luntz said at the end of the meeting, the chief of staff for the White House said, "What do you think would be the reaction if we replaced Reagan, if we felt like we needed to put another person in there?" And he said that it was too close a call, and that if they didn't have the incumbency of Reagan being the president, that they would have a much, much more difficult time reelecting him. And Luntz said he had like another 5 minutes with the guys and got rushed out the door. And he said then he watched them run Reagan, and then he watched Reagan deteriorating, and he realized they knew all along that Reagan was well into dementia, and they were doing everything they could to mask it. And Luntz was saying, it was a long shot to do what Biden did, but it was really the right thing to do. And he said, I have no idea what all of his reasons might have been for doing it, but I can tell you, Biden's been he got hit with COVID, and depending on the COVID he got, I have a friend whose sister got COVID in Colorado, and they told her that her sister just needed to go right to the long haul COVID clinic because this new COVID causes extremely bad headaches, which leads to things around your brain. And if they can start following it really early, there's stuff they can do. And so you don't know what kind of COVID he had. We don't know what all was going on. And I think it's my own guts were that in his heart, he knew he couldn't make it. And it's not, and the numbers are incredible. If you can go back, and Sean did a show last week, said why Biden pulled. And it looks at all the numbers of all the presidents, their favorable numbers or unfavorable numbers. He explains all that all the way back to Truman. And when you see the numbers, you'll see what they were looking at and what happened to the presidents that tried to run with the unfavorable numbers that they had. So, I used to deal with all that stuff every day, and I only come and do it on Sundays because I like Scott so much and I like this audience so much. But I want to go back to my teaching people how to be weirdly spiritual and survive. And now I think we have half a chance of doing that. So I will, if anybody wants to, you can email me. My emails are all over my website. I can tell you how to get in touch with people near you if you're shy. And I've had people reach out that way. But there's so much to do, and there's so many different ways you can help people and guide people. And Yeah, I've lived in the shadiest, crappiest, swampiest, most awful bunch of people. But if it can educate the rest of the country so we can get out of it, I'll take the hit. And um, I'm still doing readings. I am going to be teaching a tarot class. It's going to start in September. Right now, I've got the 7th as the date it's going to start, but I'm not sure if that's going to be it. We may have to move it because we got a couple of people said that's a little too early for them. Um, the other thing is next weekend, there's going to, and I will put it out on my, so if you haven't subscribed, you won't get the information. But there's a whole bunch of psychics that are going to do like a Jerry Lewis telethon for the Waltz, for the Harris Waltz campaign. And we're all going to be reading kind of like this. I don't know how many hours. Well, I got the thing yesterday, but there's a whole lot of different readers that are involved with it. So if you're interested in finding out about that, just stay tuned and I'll get it out to you. And they have a website and everything. I mean, they've done it right. The lady who's running it knows how to organize things.
Others.
So,
Well, I think George Sr. was generally a patriot and a good man. In the memoirs, George Bush Sr. voted for Hillary, and Barbara wrote in Jeb Bush in 2016. So, if he could break it down before he passed, there was it 18? I think he passed.
Yeah.
Bush Sr. Yeah. But yeah, for him to know how bad 45 was, to vote for Hillary, that's a patriot in my book.
Yeah. Well, our problem right now is Cruz is a disaster just because he is. He's a walking disaster anyway. But our whole state government, we need to get rid of the governor. We need to get rid of the lieutenant governor. And the only reason George Bush Jr. did as well was because the lieutenant governor, who really sets the agenda and does everything, he was a Democrat. And he made Bush look a lot better than he should have. And
when he was governor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The guy who ran the state was a Democrat.
I believe it.
And then Abbott, then they got Rick Perry in, who was, he's still hiding out. Remember, he kind of disappeared when the heat got high. And then we have Governor Wheely. And, we just need to be rid of. I so think term limits should apply to even when people are appointed or put in things. I don't think that Governor Wheely would not have made it one more session if they hadn't played that game. And then we need to get a hold of the courts. We need to sweep out the Fifth Circuit Court, which is our Court of Appeals in federal matters. That's where all cases that ought to be decided fairly go to die. And but I appreciate all the people out here who are still fighting the good fight. And to the female governor. Oh, Ann Richards.
Ann Richards, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I have no clue who that is.
I have no idea what that is. I didn't even have spelled right. Ann Richards was not gay, I don't think. She was a funny lady. I actually saw her speak a couple times. She was really. Anyway, so
yeah,
I feel a lot more hope than I felt. So it was 4 weeks ago that he pulled.
Yeah, it was a little stressful, but I still don't think that if Joe would have finished that, it would have been another close one. But I don't think they would have voted for 45 in the end. When you get down to it, and it's like, oh, we can't have that guy again.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been another close race, as is. I mean, we've seen Joe speak lately, and at the DNC, he did do fine. So weird. So, but anyway, everyone have a blessed day. We'll get out of your hair, and thanks for being here. And thank you, Nancy. Love to all.
See y'all.
Bye.
Bye.